two black men, both dead, but I want you to see the differences in their death, how they died and what they were dying for. And I also want you to ask yourself a question. Which one are you?
In 1969, Fred Hampton, the 21-year-old chairman of the Black Panther Party's Illinois chapter, was assassinated during an FBI and Chicago police raid. Hampton, a charismatic leader, had joined the Panthers in 1968, focusing on combating systemic racism and uplifting black communities. Under his leadership, the Panthers provided free meals, medical clinics, and education while fiercely opposing police brutality. William O'Neill, an FBI informant, infiltrated the Panthers after being coerced into collaboration. Facing charges for car theft, O'Neill agreed to spy on the group, becoming its chief of security. Trusted by Hampton, he provided the FBI with a floor plan of Hampton's Chicago apartment. On December 4th, 1969, police stormed the apartment, killing Hampton as he slept beside his pregnant fiancée, Aqua Njeri. O'Neill later expressed regret, calling himself a pawn in a big game. In 1990, plagued by guilt, O'Neill took his own life. In 1969, Fred Hampton, the 21-year-old chairman of the Black Panther Party's Illinois chapter, was assassinated during an FBI and Chicago police raid. Hampton, a charismatic leader, had joined the Panthers in 1968, focusing on combating systemic racism and uplifting black communities. Under his leadership, the Panthers provided free meals, medical clinics, and education while fiercely opposing police brutality. William O'Neill, an FBI informant,
I'm being arrested.
Early Monday morning, Courtney Mallory was taken into custody.
Farming while black in America.
The rancher's story, one that's taken over social media.
We don't want to become a hashtag.
Nicole, a Marine, and her husband bought Freedom Acres Ranch in 2020. The couple claiming they face repeated acts of domestic terrorism by white residents on their own property. They say their dogs have been poisoned. Numerous farm animals have been slaughtered and gutted. Residents have been trespassing on their land, running over fence posts, burning their Black Lives Matter flags, spray painting racial slurs on their land, even waving guns at them. Photos show unknown vehicles blocking the couple's property and parking on their land. Even social media posts inquiring about pitchforks and fire sticks.
Lynching us, bringing a lynching mob, having a public hanging, fire. They wanted to lock us in and set us ablaze.
Mallory said they've called the sheriff's office countless times over the last 2 years, but have gotten no action or thorough investigations.
It is in fact El Paso County Sheriff's Office that is the main reason that we do not feel safe on our property.
Now, I want to first go to the first video where we talk about Fred Hampton, and then we talk about another black man who gets caught, they say, stealing a car, but rather than face the consequences of his decisions, he would rather infiltrate the Black Panthers, something that was protecting the black community, something that was uplifting the black community, and that something was something that we were proud of. And I don't even call them a group. I call them my brothers. But of course, you understand that the law and what they call the law in America actually hunts black people, especially black people who are trying to uplift the other black people in this nation, protect them, feed their children, and do all the things that we won't do for ourselves. This has been happening since we came to this land. And I cannot see where we can't see the difference in these two black men. They are from two totally different ends of the spectrum. One is a king and one is a sellout. And the sellout ended his life, and I think they said in the 90s sometime, after living with the guilt that he actually helped the police. And not only the police, but I would call the push to keep black people down by those in power. So they look for all types of what I would call leverage. And what I mean by that is they'll take somebody who is a penny ante, not good for nothing black person and use him to destroy a group of black men who were fighting for this black nation. And this is not only happening in America, but this happens all over the world, especially in Africa we see. We have one black man infiltrating, or 2 or 3 black people infiltrating the organizations of people who are trying, black people who are trying to help us get a better footing in America. And white America despises that. So what do? They get people to sabotage us. And the sad thing about it is we should be punishing these men ourselves. It shouldn't have to wait to 1990s to understand that if we do not root these people out, we will never gain the type of freedom and financial freedom that we need in this country and Africa.
The sheriff's office says they've investigated 19 different complaints and have responded to over 170 calls for service at Freedom Acres. In a statement, they claim the office vehemently denies all these allegations.
We're watching. The world is watching. Get it right.
Now a coalition pushing for social justice and the couple's safety.